Doo-doo-doo. What's going on, everybody? How are we? I'm gonna let some people get on. Like we always do, and I've got my notes. I'm ready to go. Hope everybody had a good day. I actually got sunburned today down here, if you can believe that. We had a UV index today of 5, which, isn't terrible, but remember the angle of the sun it's a lot more direct here in Florida, South Florida especially, than it is in like the Mid-Atlantic or the Northeast or the Great Lakes or anything like that. So I belong to an outdoor lap pool. I swim laps. I try to get a mile in 3 times a week. And today I ran out the door, completely forgot to put sunscreen on, and so I'm in it only took me about a half hour, and I went home and my face was completely red. That's a first for me. I've never had sunburn during the month of January. And I know when you're skiing, I know you can get sunburn too when you get up high, in those mountains, but I've never had sunburn during the month of January. Unbelievable. Okay, well, we got a little interesting setup taking place here. I'm going to let everybody fill in over the next, it's only 7:44. I said I'd be on at 7:45. So before I get in everything, I just, want to give everyone a chance to get in here. But interesting setup going on right now. Some of the forecast modeling has backed off from what it showed yesterday. There's a couple other models that kind of say game on, and this is going to be a major snowstorm for the Mid-Atlantic, which includes Philadelphia. But again, a lot of the modeling is kind of pulling that snow back away from Philadelphia, farther to the south, suppression, whereas a couple of them, they do that overrunning thing, and they show some good snowfall totals in the city. We'll see. I'm going to break it all down for you here in a moment. Hope everybody's doing well. It's a Friday night, so I hope you guys have some fun plans. I saw you had a little, I call them nuisance events, little dusting pulled through, maybe some areas. I saw my mom got a coating there in New Jersey. So most of you picked up just a coating out of it, just a nuisance, nothing. But you got to watch those, because a lot of times, they will treat the roads. And so if it's just a coating or whatever, it melts on the roads, and then all of a sudden you get black ice. So you do got to watch that, okay? Everyone needs to be real careful tonight up there. And for us here in the South Florida area, what was the lead in? How did it go? We were talking about coats and boots with the fur. That's what kind of weather it's going to be down here. As the lows, believe it or not, actually here, I'm going to show you, they drop down into, get a load of this real quick. Look at that. That's the forecast lows here in South Florida. So West Palm Beach right there, middle of the screen on the right, 48 degrees, Okeechobee 42. Out and through here too, there's going to be wind chills in the 30s tomorrow morning. And look, I get it. If you're in the Mid-Atlantic and you're watching, you're like, but it's really, really chilly for us here in West Palm Beach. So that's a chilly morning. We live right in through here. This is the Treasure Coast here. Okay, my wife and I were out and through here in Stewart. And then this is Palm Beach County here. It's a big county, big county. But a lot of the population is here. It's east of 95, and it's east of the Turnpike. So let's say the Turnpike is right here. This is where all the population is. Nobody. Wellington's decent size, but nobody lives out here. These are all cane fields. It's just a lot of empty land. And then I'm sure you guys have heard of Alligator Alley and the Everglades. That's down here. Miami would be down here, and then the Keys, even farther to the south, just to kind of give you an idea. This is Lake Okeechobee. They took me on an airboat on Lake Okeechobee. That was about 2 months ago. This is really neat. This thing, the map doesn't do it justice, but we flew over it coming back from Christmas. We got diverted because of big storms up here, and so they flew us this way, and we had to come in at to the airport this way. This thing is huge. It is absolutely huge. It's like a mini ocean. You get waves on that thing. It's crazy. All right, so that's a look at let me quickly show you this. So that's a look at the lows in South Florida. And we're going to do Florida first. Okay, let me get these cold temperatures out of the way. Let's talk about falling iguanas. Let's get all that out of the way. There's a little bit of a danger to the citrus crop too, and then we're going to get into that snowstorm. Here's a look at the daytime highs tomorrow. Now keep in mind the average high is 75. Nothing terrible, but we've been in the 80s like 4 times over the last, 7 days. So, I mean, this is quite a shock maybe. Sebastian 65 with the wind. It's probably going to feel like 59 or 60 all day because we're going to see gusts up to 30. 25, let's say, in Sebastian. Stewart 60. Oh, it's going to feel so nice. But again, winds 20 to 25 miles per hour. We're going to head outdoors to eat tomorrow night. It should be pretty nice, but I'm going to have to wear a sweater or a sweatshirt because the numbers will pull back quick. Okay, let's go over here. Let's talk about the temperatures first. Okay, looks like we got a pretty nice audience in now. So this is West Palm Beach. Remember, the highs are in yellow, the lows are in blue. And you can see, this was today, Friday. We shot up to, I think, 74, actually. Here's tomorrow, down to 67. I think maybe we're a few degrees warmer than that, though. But 72 Sunday. Monday's a really cold, or a really nice day. 80 degrees, a lot of sunshine. Winds out of the southwest, southwest. It's going to feel good. No humidity here either. It's nice. And then Tuesday, this is an early high. We're going to fall. And then look at this. I mean, look at this 59. What day is that? That's Thursday, the 9th. That's really chilly for down here. Look at the lows. Look at this low. 39 as you wake up Friday morning. Woo! That's to the following weekend. We get a spike, and then another front comes through. Let's contrast that. My friends in Philly, let's see what you're looking at here. Because I know there's a lot of people from the Philly area live down here in New York and those mid-Atlantic big cities, D.C., Baltimore. Well, isn't that a change? So 38. Did you guys hit 38 today? I didn't realize you were that warm. 40, somewhere in there. 33. If you got a coating of snow today, like most areas did, it's going to melt tomorrow and Sunday. But then Sunday night into Monday, here comes that storm. And look at the highs here. That's pretty impressive. Overnight lows. Look at this. Woo! 32. What day is that? It's on the 10th. You do get a little bit better as we get into week 2 of January, but then you go right back into the tank here. All right, let's show you Jacksonville. Wait till you see how expansive this this area of cold weather is. Jacksonville, look at the highs here. Look at the lows. Look at this. They've got frost and freeze warnings up. Look at this. Now, this is what I was talking about with the potential problems with the citrus crop. Okay, so this is going to be the end of next week. Look at the low there. Wow. That's 24 degrees. That's a hard freeze for those folks. Now, obviously, the farmers know how to prepare for things like that up there, so they're going to take their precautions, but that's really, really cold. They get a spike, and then here we go back down. Let's do Orlando, home of Mickey, and that's going to be cold, too. Look at that. Woo! Freezing there. And we were talking about this yesterday, right? Imagine if you're on vacation at Disney World and you're staying at the Wilderness Lodge, one of my favorites, or the Grand Floridian, and you'll wake up and it's 32 degrees. What the heck is that? Ooh, look at the low or the high there. 47. There's another 47. That's cold stuff. And I'm always checking in here. International Falls, the ice box of the nation. Yeah. That looks pretty darn cold. Okay, one thing I want to show real quick with Florida. This is the night that I'm really concerned about, okay? So here's a look at, now this is not today. This is Friday the 10th. Look at the lows. Wow, that's really, really cold. So Miami's right here. West Palm, where I am right now, is right here. This is Lake Okeechobee. Orlando, probably here. Tampa, Jacksonville's up here, Gainesville's here. This is really, really cold. So that's the temperature. Watch this. That's wind chill. Holy cow. How's that 18 look in Gainesville? Oh my gosh, Jacksonville's in the teens. Notice you get away from the Atlantic waters and the Gulf. Notice how cold it is inland. Oh my gosh. Even down towards Lake Okeechobee, wind chill of 27. Where I am, it shows a wind chill of 35. Oh my gosh. Let's see how far south this gets. Miami, wind chill of 35 next Friday, a week from today. Whew. Let's see what it shows, because I was talking about this on the air today, that we could see some wind chills pretty close to upper 30s in parts of the area. It's hard to make this out. We see that lighter blue. It's 43. That's right on Lake Okeechobee, though. That's pretty chilly stuff. Okay? Look at the temperatures. And this is the first part here. Here's Saturday. It's a nice day. I mean, holy smokes. Highs are in the 60s and 70s, no humidity. I mean, you can't ask for anything better. It gets cold. All right, here's Sunday morning right here. It's cold. Okay. Then we get into Monday. All right, Monday's a pretty nice day here. Look at the warmth coming in Monday. 17, 18, 19, that's 2. Wow, look at all the 79s there. That's too warm right now. I'll be honest. It's too warm. I don't want it that warm. And then Tuesday. Here, see the front coming in? See this? All right, now this is the Arctic front. Yes, we're going to get a piece of this Arctic front too. See this coming in? So Tuesday morning is when it's coming in. Late Monday night. Let's go back. Right there. So the lows Tuesday morning, there's a lot of 30s across the Sunshine State. Then Wednesday morning, right there. That's cold. Thursday morning, that's cold. And Friday morning, this was the coldest one. Let's see what next Saturday is like. Yeah, so it's going to be next Friday. That's the coldest. Whew. All right. All right. You guys ready? You ready to talk a little snow? So real quick, just to kind of finish up with the whole Florida thing. I mean, people are you're going to need to dress warm. Yeah, you go out to dinner tonight. You go out to dinner any night next week. Sweaters, light jackets, temperatures are in the 40s. You know, maybe a heavier coat. And some days we'll have a breeze, so wind chills could be in the 30s during the early morning hours. But you see by afternoon, we do rebound into the 60s and low 70s. That's beautiful stuff during the day. Okay, let's get into it here. Sorry, I'm tired. I did every show today, and I'm just exhausted. Well, Paigey wears me out too. You know, I wake up in the morning. I play with Paigey, and she is non-stop as all those little ones are. And then I swam the laps, and then more playing with Paigey, and now I'm here. Okay, so this is the storm. All right, Mid-Atlantic. All right, right here, West Coast. There's Florida, Gulf of Mexico, East Coast. All right, remember, what you're looking at here, this is the European model. This is 500 millibars. So we're approximately, I forget, what is this, 20,000 feet, awful close to it. But remember, we were talking about this before, and if you didn't hear me mention this earlier in the week, remember the forecasting cone. You learned this in college. You start in the upper levels of the atmosphere. You identify the pattern, and then you work your way down to the surface, okay? That's how you know what's going on. So here's the big trough in place right now across the east. This is kind of, this little piece of energy here is what brought the snow to you guys today. Light stuff, just a coating, nuisance stuff. But again, watch the black ice overnight and tomorrow morning. And then here comes the low, okay? This is the Sunday night, Monday storm, all right? Now it's going to drop. It's going to jump right over the Rockies. Here it comes. Remember, we're also in Zulu time. See that right there? 0Z Sunday is 7 p.m. Saturday. I know it sounds kind of funny, right? 12Z is 7 a.m. 18Z is 1 p.m. 0Z is 7 p.m. 06Z is 1 a.m. Okay? So here it comes. It's going to jump the Rockies. Now it's on the Front Range. This is 7 a.m. on Sunday. It's cold in the east. Here comes the storm. All right? Boom. Here it comes. Like a little bowling ball rolling across. But see, what's going to happen here? Now, what happened last night and early this morning is this model backed off on its snow totals. If you remember on Thursday, I was talking about two possible scenarios. One was that Canadian feature kind of holding its ground and forcing or suppressing this system down to the south. And then the other scenario was overrunning moisture, more of an area of low pressure, stronger low coming across the country, and the overrunning moisture lifts farther to the north and you get heavier snowfall totals. All right, so what this is showing here, notice there's no closed low. All right, see that? So here's the upper level feature. This is southern Canada. This is what we've been, well, me personally, that's what I've been afraid of ever since this became a topic, because this thing a lot of times tends to push these storms farther to the south and they become a snowstorm for Virginia and North Carolina. So that's what we've been watching over the last couple of days. This is not a closed low. So as this comes across, notice there's no circle here. Okay, see that right there? See the closed circle? There's nothing like that here. All right, so because of that, this thing bullies the storm to the south. and it passes on by. There's no closed low. Now remember, that's just this model, but here's what it looks like at the surface. All right, so as I set this in motion, remember, if you're just now new to this, these dungeon segments, blue is snow, green is rain, and then that wintry mix is like a orange and a pink. So here's a look at it. Here's coming in. This is 7 p.m. on Sunday. There's nothing going on. All right, this is the European model. We are 7 a.m. Okay, this is really, also I want to point this out, the darker the color, the heavier the precip. So this would be heavy snow. This would be heavy rain. This would be heavy icing here. This light blue, that is light snow in southern New Jersey. All right, 12Z Monday, that is 7 a.m. Monday morning. It is snowing lightly from Philly northeast, okay, across the bridge into Morristown and Willingboro and Toms River south. Okay, then it gets heavy right around the Delaware Bay, Dover, Georgetown, and then on the eastern shores of Maryland, it's heavy snow. D.C. is getting walloped at that point. These are probably really heavy snowfall rates down here. Now, remember, it's going to try to come up, but it's not. It's going to feel the influence of that feature in southern Canada. So watch what happens. It does come up. It's in South Jersey. That's heavy snow now at 10 o'clock in the morning. That's, well, at least a moderate snow. That's heavy snow right there. Cape May, you're picking up some really heavy snow at that point. Same thing with Dewey Beach, Ocean City, Maryland, all the way down the Delmarva. All right, that's a good snow falling in South Jersey. That is 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday. That's the heavy stuff right there. But that's a good snow falling in Philly, Glassboro, Williamstown, Millville, Atlantic City. On the PA side, all of Delaware County, all of Philadelphia County, all of Chester County, most of Lancaster County. That's a good snow falling right there, right around lunchtime. But then notice how it all just quickly vanishes from northwest to southeast. Remember, there's no closed low here on this model. It's still snowing good in Cape May, and it's still snowing good in Dover and probably Dewey Beach and down to Ocean City, Maryland. But that's it, and then it's pulling away. So watch what the GFS does. Okay, so that was the European. The GFS says, hold my beer. Look at the heavy snow. Look at this. And it just keeps going. Okay, so what you just saw there, the GFS model says, no, I do see a closed low with this, okay? And I am going to run this moisture farther to the north, and I don't care that there's that upper level feature there. I'm going to bully my way right into this, okay? And so the difference here is European, okay? Notice this right here. Heaviest snows, and that is a walloping. Look at the 16 there near Salisbury, Maryland. That is a walloping from the mountains of West Virginia through northern Virginia. D.C.'s getting walloped. Down to Cape May County. Cape May, even on the European model, is probably picking up maybe 8 or 9 inches of snow out of this. So usually areas down here to the south, they don't pick up the heavy snow. I think it's almost a guarantee. Well, I don't want to use that word. Don't want to use the word guarantee. But you have a much better chance of picking up some big snowfall totals here than they do north and west. Or at least that's the way it looks right now. So this is the suppression scenario. It's got about 3 inches in Philadelphia, 3.5 in Glassboro, almost 5 in Millville, 6.5 in Dover, 12 in Georgetown, about 7, 8, or 9 in Cape May, and then 16 as you get into Salisbury, Maryland, okay? So that's the suppression scenario. Look at Allentown, 1.1, Doylestown an inch, Trenton maybe an inch, that's it. GFS, on the other hand, look at that. Woo! That's got 11 inches in Glassboro, in Sewell, in Williamstown. It's got almost 10 inches in Philadelphia. It has 13 inches in Millville. It's got 12 in Woodbine, 11 in Atlantic City, 12 in Dover, probably close to a foot in Wilmington, 9.5 in western portions of Chester County. Lancaster's at 9.5. Georgetown, Delaware, 6.5. Baltimore, 12. D.C., 10. Mountains of West Virginia, look at the 17s and the 16s and the 15s. So what it's doing is, again, it's saying, all right, I don't really care what's going on up here. I'm going to overrun this moisture because the low is stronger and you get this heavy snow band farther to the north. Notice the difference, okay? Suppression, it's got it here. That's the European, GFS. European, GFS. And I know this is going to sound like a cop-out, but honestly, I like something in between the two. Right now, I like the 6-inch line, probably going from let's say Lancaster through most of Chester County, at least 2/3 of it. I don't know if I want to put the 6-inch line in Philly, but let's put it here. Let's put it through Chester, okay? And then down, let's not even put it that high. Let's put it in Wilmington, okay? Let's go 6 inches from Lancaster down to Wilmington and through Franklinville and into Atlantic City South, okay? I think you're getting at least 6 out of this. That's the way it looks to me right now. Now, I allow myself to change opinions if I see something coming in, but I like that right now. That's where I think the 6-inch mark will be. So Millville, Vineland, Buna, Minnetonka, Richland, those areas. There's a small community, Dorothy, Estelle Manor, Woodbine, Cape May, the Villas, Cape May Courthouse, Avalon, Dover, Middletown. You're getting at least 6 out of this. That's my opinion right now. That's the way I see it as of right now. And then for Philly, see, Philly's a tough call because, I mean, it's got 3 even on the European, and then it's got almost 10 on the GFS. I mean, it's a 15-to-1 ratio at least, so I think it's probably about 4 or 5 in the city. All right, but we'll see. Again, the new model run is going to come in soon, and we'll see what happens here. Now, getting back to the suppression scenario, okay, remember this is what we call the ensembles, all right? And so what you're doing is you're taking the European model and you're running it 50 different times. You take the blend. So look at these. Let's go down. That's showing the heaviest snow south. All right, so the way I'm going to say this is good run, bad run. Me liking snow, a good run is a good snow run. A bad run is bad. So this is, for the city of Philadelphia, bad. Bad, but it's got good snow in Delaware. Bad, bad, bad. Good snow in parts of the area. Good snow in parts of the area, especially South Jersey and Delaware. Good snow in parts of the area, really good snow. If you're in Philadelphia, that's the one you want. That's number 31. That's almost a foot of snow in South Jersey and at least 8 or 9 in Philadelphia. That's the run you want. That's a good run. That's a good run. That's a bad run. That's a bad run. Bad, 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 bad. Good. That's a really good run. Bad, decent, really good run in South Jersey and Delaware. Bad, bad. So, and then 1 through 25. Bad, 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 bad. That's a good run right there. Bad, 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 bad. Decent, bad, bad. That's a really good run. Bad, 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 bad. Okay, so you get the idea, and that's why the European is doing what it's doing. I just went through 50 different runs. I could probably count on one hand how many of them were a good hit for snowfall in Philadelphia, whereas all the others weren't showing much. All the others were showing a 2 to 4 inch snow. 2 to 4, perhaps 3 to 5. Remember what I consider moderate, okay? So 1 to 3, I consider light. 4 to 6, I consider moderate. 7 to 12 is heavy, and 12 plus is the big one, okay? So the GFS, though, look at the difference here. I mean, it's just so funny. So good, 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 bad, decent, decent, good, good, decent, bad, good, bad, good, decent, decent, bad, 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 good, good, bad, good, good. You see what's happening? I mean, these two models are completely seeing things differently. And it all boils down to that area of low pressure now as it pulls across the country. If it's a stronger low, okay, remember, you've got that little area of, I don't know, let's just say this little, I'll call it a blocking feature, or just this little feature overall in southern Canada. If you've got a stronger low traveling across the country, it busts through that boundary and you get the snow. If you get a weaker sort of like wave or just light area or weak area of low pressure pulling across, then all of a sudden you're getting what the European suggests. And that's why those two models are seeing it the way they are. Honestly, I like a compromise. I like something right there in the middle. And And you also have this. Now, we're not in range yet, okay? We're not in range for the high resolution stuff, but this is interesting. Now, this only goes out to 7 p.m. Tuesday, but it's got a 60% chance. Actually, down here, it's 90 to 100% chance of seeing at least 1 inch. 3 inches, it's got at least 3 inches or more. It's got a 60% chance here in this orange. This is a 50% chance, 40, 30, 20, 10, just so you know the color scheme. 6 inches or more, that's a 60, 50, that's a 40% chance. That's a decent percentage given we're that far out. Okay, 40% chance in most of South Jersey, and that includes Philadelphia. Okay, so this is why I don't want to completely go with this scenario yet, where it only shows 2 or 3. Okay, because some of that high res stuff right here already has at least a 40% chance of getting 6 inches or more snow in Philadelphia. And again, given that it is Friday evening and this is a Monday event, that's pretty good percentages already. Okay, 12 inches or more, they've got percentages out there on the Mason-Dixon line. Okay, there you go. So what I would say is, in closing here, what I would say is, and I'm not going to be able to do one of these over the weekend because we kind of have plans, but I'll make some posts on Facebook throughout the day, and I'll just show you a couple pictures like I did earlier today, and I'll let you know what I'm thinking there and what the latest is. But what I'm thinking right now, I think South Jersey and Delaware. Honestly, I think you're pretty close to 6 inches minimum. Now, the farther south you go, so for example, Glassboro, all right, right there in Gloucester County, maybe you're 5 or 6. You get to right there on the Delaware Bay, Millville, Vineland, you're probably at least 6, 7, 8, something like that. Dover, you're probably 7 or 8, maybe 9. Cape May, you're probably 6 to 9, somewhere in there. So the farther south you go, you are going to get heavier snow. Let's assume for a second that GFS is correct, then even the city of Philadelphia gets the heavy snow, but I actually don't think that is going to be correct. I think even the GFS will shift a little bit farther to the south. So for Philadelphia, if I had to put a number in the city right now, I would say 4 inches. That's what I would put in Philly. Allentown, maybe 2. I don't like what I'm seeing up there in the Lehigh Valley. I just think this is a rarity. I just think they're too far north, given what this kind of setup is. And usually it's the jackpot area. You never know. I've seen crazier things happen. I've seen that GFS. Usually, we talked about this yesterday, usually the European model outscores the GFS model on like all kinds of things, hurricanes, severe weather, snowstorms. That's why it's widely regarded as the most accurate model out there. But recently, the GFS has done pretty well. Okay, the model that showed the heavy snow in the city, recently that model has done pretty well. So again, I don't want to just kind of throw it out the window, and so that's why I'm going to go with the compromise for now. Okay, let's do, and again, the timing on this, to be exact here, would be, let's see. Timing on this is going to be way after midnight, Sunday night. So I would say, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. 3, 4, somewhere in there. Obviously, it'll start a little bit sooner in Delaware because it's lifting north. It's coming south to north. But I'm talking about for Philly, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, something like that. As of now, that's what it looks like. And then it snows pretty much all day, varying intensities. Remember, it's a light, fluffy snow. It's not a heart attack snow. There's not a lot of moisture content to it. We have high snow ratios because the temperature is going to be cold with this. So it should be pretty easy to remove. It's the kind where, like on your car, you just take your hand and brush it off. Or you could probably take a broom, honestly, with some of this, in the city of Philadelphia to move it from the walks. It should be a light snow because of how cold it is. Okay, let me try to answer a few questions here, and then I'll let you go. And I'm going to get some food. Marianne says, no GFS, please. Remember, that was the one that showed the walloping. That showed the heavy snow. Kim, thank you very much. You are wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate that. She says, I put lots of time and energy into this. I try to make this as this stuff gets complicated. You know what I mean? It really does. And I try to explain this the best that I can to give you an idea of what we're looking at and why. I mean, if one thing you guys know, and everybody out there knows, weather is a profession that is never etched in stone. I'll never forget this. So I was working in Philly. This was this might have been my first stint at Channel 6 back in like 2004. And we had tornado watches up. And it wasn't just for us here in Philly. It was from like New York all the way down to D.C. And all the severe weather parameters were just insane, off the charts. I could not believe what I was looking at. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to get walloped. And all the modeling, the high resolution stuff showed this ridiculous squall line coming through. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I went into work like hours early because I just was gearing up for what I was, getting ready to get into. Not a single thunderstorm developed that day. Nothing. There was a little bit of a cap, and we thought the energy was going to be enough to bust through that cap, and you get this huge, there's puffy cumulus clouds. They start growing, and you get these big storms. Nothing busted through the cap. We didn't get a single storm. So again, things, it's never etched in stone. Can we vote on what we want, please, Chris? Sure. I don't know if it'll work out that way, but yeah, you can vote. Let's see. So fun seeing these different possible solutions. Thanks, Wade. I enjoy explaining them. Hopefully, you know me. Hopefully the GFS works out and you guys get a really good snow. Even if the European was correct, you're still going to go sledding, okay? There's still going to be parts of the Philadelphia television market that are not going to have school on Monday, mainly South Jersey and Delaware, but there's still going to be that. The kids are still sledding during the afternoon. You're going to have some pretty cold wind chills and some cold temperatures, but hey, it's winter, and the kids will love it as they're sledding down. Even the Lehigh Valley, you're only probably talking, 1, 2, or maybe 3 up there. I would say 1 or 2, but you can still sled with that. Let's see. They all look bad. I want 75 and sunny. Kim, come down here. That's what we've had for several days now. Let's see, 8:15. Okay, I'm going to have to wrap this up in a few minutes. We've got to record again. I always understand things better when I listen to you. Thank you, Janny. I appreciate that. Let's see. Thank you so much, Chris. How much in Ridley Park? I forget where Ridley Park is. Hold on one second. I forget what county that is. Is that Montgomery County? Let's see. I was wrong. That's Delaware County, isn't it? So you're in one of those, Ridley Park is in one of those areas that, I think you're at least 4, at least. And there's the possibility that you could go up to 6. But I would put you at probably 4 inches. That's where I would put you right now. Let's see. I only want a dusting in Philadelphia. Oh, that's what you got, Lisa Ann. That's what you got tonight. You're going to get a little bit more than, well, then again, you're not telling me where you're located here, but you're probably going to get a few inches. I hope Hatboro doesn't get more than 2. All right, where's Hatboro? I forget where that one is, too. Hatboro. What the heck county is that one? Hold on, that didn't tell me anything. Hatboro. What is that, Montgomery? Yeah, it's Montgomery County. You're getting away from it now. Is that Montgomery, or are you right there in southern Bucks? You're pretty close to Bucks, but you're getting away from it now. I would say 2 up there. Well, let's do 2 more, and then I will get ready to record. 4 or 5 inches is enough to stay home and call it a snow day. I agree, Laura. Absolutely. It's pretty. It's going to stick to everything. Let's see. Not sure I can deal with 10 inches of snow. Please 3 or 5 or nothing. Like I said, Dawn, somebody is going to get 10. All right, it just depends on where it is. If the European is correct, that 10 is probably in extreme southern Delaware and Maryland, maybe stretching west into probably the suburbs of Baltimore and D.C. But again, there's the chance that lifts north. Remember I said this a few days ago. This is a very tricky setup. These are a pain because you just don't know until the low jumps the Rockies and it kind of reemerges on the front range, and we're not at that point yet. So all these models, what they're doing is they're trying to kind of plan where they get this thing redeveloping on the front range, how strong it's going to be. once they actually see the low, like once it's developed, once the pressures drop, once all of that takes place, then it's cakewalk. But we're just not there yet. Tomorrow we're probably going to be in a little better shape with that. Okay, one more. Here in Pottstown, it's been so long since I've seen over 5 inches of snow. You didn't get that last year? I thought there was a storm where you got more than 5 there. Maybe I was wrong. This probably won't be 5 in Pottstown, but it might be close. You might get like 3 or something like that. But, okay, so I got to record. Listen, thank you so much for tuning in. You guys, be safe out there. I'm really concerned about the black ice up there, okay? It's always what tends to happen when you get these nuisance events like what you just saw today with that coating. People let their guard down and they drive faster than they should. They're not paying attention to their surroundings and you get accidents. So just don't be that person. Just wherever you're going tonight, wherever you're going tomorrow morning, kids have some kind of an event, just take it slow out there. Even the main roads are going to be treated, but a lot of the but there still could be slick spots. Secondary roads are probably going to be slick. Okay, I know they're wet. They're not snow covered. They're wet, but again, you know, there's going to be black ice. And then we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll put an update tomorrow with some pictures. Okay, you guys be safe out there. Have a good one. Dress warm. Bye.